for walking with your smartphone, right? And like, because it's a dangerous thing, right? Like, think about a city with 22 million people, right? So
Wow.
if someone's like suddenly zones out walking with their phone, like they could walk off onto a train track, right?
Absolutely.
They could, well, like, or there's 50,000 people crossing the street at the same time, and like all it takes is like one person that's totally oblivious,
I,
like,
I saw a woman last week, I think Friday.
mhm.
I'm walking through the Petway in Chicago. Um, she has her head down, so as she's coming toward me, I move to the side, get out the way, just to get out the way. I was like, I already know where this is going. She's got her head down, she's all on the phone. She has veered off into the same area where I'm going. So I say, watch your step, watch your step, watch your step, 3 times. She looks up and has an attitude because I told her to
Right, to
watch out.
watch a step.
Yeah. And then you could have just moved. And I was like, I got to the side to get out your way, and you got in my way still. I was like, now if you make something out of it, it's gonna go wrong for you because you were being dumb. And then she just looked at me and then she just kept walking. It's like you couldn't even tell that I was in front of you. What if I would have been the guy that wanted to take the phone?
Right.
What
And then,
happens then?
of course, and then like, of course, because you burst her bubble, right? That focus bubble
Yeah,
that she was in.
I took her away
right?
from
Like,
it.
shame on you. Right?
Oh my God, I feel so bad. I feel so bad for looking out for your safety. And I bet you
Right?
after that happened, she went back to doing what she did. She
I'm
probably
sure
told
she
somebody that I
did.
was an asshole. You know what I mean? And she
Yeah.
had no idea that she has, just like other people, they have no idea when they're walking down the street that you could easily step into traffic. You could easily walk into somebody and fuck up their day. Somebody could be walking with coffee in their hand. You could walk over somebody's child. It could be anything that you're doing, but you got your goddamn head into that phone, man.
I know.
And it's not that fucking important. It is not that fucking important, man, to sit on there and be on a fucking mobile device, losing minutes and hours of your day, getting your brain and all your vibrations and fluid sucked into the fucking phone just because you can't differentiate between real life and that fucking phone at some point.
Well, yeah, and you know that there's this thing about the brain function, right? Like, not only the alert part, but also um, the brain at rest, right? So like, the phone, especially with like social media and the hits of information, um, produce like what? Which is the compound in the brain? Dopamine. It produces whichever is the chemical compound in the brain that has to do with like, the old experiment about the rats with the bell eating cheese, right? So like when the rats would hear the bell, it would stimulate the brain. It might have been dogs and not rats, and I might be getting this all wrong. But what it does is it stimulates a part of the brain that um, is like always looking for the next piece of cheese,
Uh,
right? So the way that the brain reacts to feeds of information, not only like Twitter and Facebook, but whatever is that next hit of information, good or bad, the brain reacts to it in a way that keeps it tuned into that stream, right? And that like there are all these little signals and bells that are built into the system, part of the user experience, that are intended to invoke that reaction in the brain,
yes.
right? However,